Hello, and welcome to a new series that I am entitling Questions That God Asked. We often have questions of God, but there are several instances in Scripture where God asks people questions, and we're going to be looking at a few of those. So each week, probably be posting a new video. The first one deals with the prophet Elijah. And when you talk about the prophets of Israel, Elijah is right up there at the top. He is the only one that we know of that never died, was taken away in a chariot of fire to heaven to be with God. So he is a great prophet. So in 1 Kings chapter 17, the Lord tells Elijah to tell the people that it's not going to rain for 3.5 years. And then he tells Elijah to go to a city called Zarephath. And there he meets a widow and he asks her for a drink of water. And he also asks her to bake him some bread. And she tells him, I only have a little oil and a little flour left, but I will go ahead and make you some bread. And so she does. And for the next 3.5 years, her flour and oil never run out. And Elijah sees all of that. So there's one miraculous work that Elijah gets to see. Well, then, sometime during that time period, while he's living with the woman, her son dies. And she's obviously and naturally upset. And Elijah says, Give me the child. And so he takes the child and he raises the child from the dead and gives the child back to his mother. So there's another miracle that Elijah is involved in firsthand. Well, then, sometime later, he gets in a contest, if you will, with the prophets of Baal because Israel has forsaken God and gone off and served the gods of Baal. And so he gets in a contest, if you would, with them about who really is God. And you know the story. The prophets of Baal build an altar, and they call out to Baal, and nothing happens. Um, and so Elijah is taunting them. Maybe he's asleep. Maybe you need to yell louder. And so when they're done, Elijah has built an altar to God, and digs a moat around it. They pour water on it. They soak it, and Elijah prays, and God sends fire down from heaven and consumes the altar. And then Elijah kills the prophets of Baal. Well, Ahab the king obviously hears about this, and he tells Jezebel, his wife, what Elijah has done. And it ticks off Jezebel, makes her very, very mad. And so she sends word to Elijah that she's going to kill him. She's going to put the word out and have him killed. And Elijah is afraid. Ahab told Jezebel all that Elijah had done and how he had killed all the prophets with the sword. Then Jezebel sent a messenger to Elijah saying, So may the gods do to me and more also, if I do not make your life as the life of one of them by this time tomorrow. Then he was afraid. And he arose and ran for his life and came to Beersheba, which belongs to Judah, and left his servant there. And so, even after being a part of the miracle of the widow's flour and oil not running out, even after being involved in raising her son from the dead, even after witnessing that mighty power of God come down and burn up the sacrifice, Elijah runs. His life is threatened. He gets scared and he runs. And so he left his servant in Beersheba. He went a day's journey into the wilderness and sat down under a tree, and he asked that he might die, saying, It is enough. Now, O Lord, take away my life, for I am no better than my fathers. And he lay down and slept under a broom tree. An angel woke him up, brought him some food, and he traveled for 40 days and 40 nights to the Mount of God. And then he finds a cave there. And so he begins to live in the cave. And in 1 Kings chapter 19, verse 9, he came to a cave and lodged in it, and behold, the word of the Lord came to him and said to him, "What are you doing here, Elijah?" There's the question. What are you doing here, Elijah? And Elijah said, "I have been very jealous for the Lord, the God of hosts, for the people of Israel have forsaken your covenant, thrown down your altars, and killed your prophets with the sword, and I, even I only, am left, and they seek my life to take it away." So when God asked him, "What are you doing here, Elijah?" Elijah says, "Look, I've been very faithful to you. I've told the people everything you've told me to tell them. And now they're mad and they're trying to find me to kill me, like they killed the other prophets. And I'm the only one left." And so God tells him to go and stand out on the mount. And the Lord passed by. A great and strong wind tore the mountains and broke in pieces the rocks before the Lord, but the Lord was not in the wind. And after the wind, an earthquake, but the Lord was not in the earthquake. And after the earthquake, a fire, but the Lord was not in the fire. And after the fire, the sound of a low whisper. And when Elijah heard it, he wrapped his face in his cloak and went out and stood at the entrance of the cave. And behold, there came a voice to him and said, "What are you doing here, Elijah?" So the second time, God asked him, "What are you doing here, Elijah?" And Elijah answered like he had before, "Well, I've been very jealous for the Lord, the God of hosts. The people of Israel have forsaken your covenant, thrown down your altars, and killed your prophets with the sword, and I, even I only, am left, and they seek my life to take it away." So God asked him the second time, "What are you doing here, Elijah?" And Elijah says the same thing. I've done everything that you told me to do. And now the people are trying to find me. They've killed the prophet, all the other prophets. They're trying to find me and kill me. And God says to him, "Go, go. Return on your way to the wilderness of Damascus." Elijah, it's time to go back to work. Quit hiding. And he tells him there, "I have 7,000 in Israel, all the knees that have not bowed to Baal, and every mouth that has not kissed it." Elijah, you're not the only one left. Get up and go back to work. And that's a great question for all of us. What are you doing here, Elijah? What are you doing here, David? All of us have seen and read about and heard about the mighty works of God. But sometimes we get scared. Sometimes we get afraid. Sometimes we get nervous about being a witness for God and for Jesus. Sometimes we're scared people are going to make fun of us if we try to talk to them about Jesus. Sometimes we're afraid it might cost us our job, perhaps. But the question is a really good question. What are you doing here? Elijah was hiding in a cave because he got scared. Elijah ran away and hid because Jezebel threatened his life. And God finds him and says to him, "What are you doing here, Elijah?" So I don't know what your particular circumstances may be, but think about Elijah. He had witnessed all of those wonderful, powerful miracles and works of God. But his life gets threatened and he gets scared and he runs away and he hides. What are you doing here? Is it time to get back to work? Is it time to be the salt and light that God has called us to be? Don't be afraid. Don't be like Elijah. Don't run away and hide. Well, think about that question, and I pray that you have a good day.